And we're live. Hello and welcome to CG Manga episode 4. And today we're talking Fist of the North Star. And today I got with me Liam.
Hey guys, greetings and
Hello.
salutations.
I got
This is Crystal.
Go ahead.
We're live, Crystal. Introduce yourself.
So yeah, Crystal. We also have Optimus Deadpool.
おぼあい、まあいい、死んでる。
What?
Noni!
You really drug that one out, Vinny.
And we have Vinny.
Guys, how we doing?
And we have Crystal. Is she back with us?
I thought I heard her for a minute. Well, let's move on. She'll get here when she gets here.
So yeah, Fist of the North Star. I never watched it before until 2 weeks ago, where I watched the first movie and the new Fist of the North Star. And when did you guys find out about it? Because I knew nothing about it until you guys talked to me about it.
VHS, man. VHS, like where it all started back for me. It was a long time ago, Fist of the North Star. I remember the first time I saw it was actually as a trailer on an old VHS I rented. And I remember sitting there watching and seeing people's heads explode and shit and be like, what the fuck is this? It was like back when anime was not afraid to be anime, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I remember the first time I watched the movie and I saw that. And the face just explode, or when he just taps the forehead.
Mhm.
And I'm like, the first time he does it, I'm like, well, that's not gonna be very eventful as a movie. The fights just lasts like 5 seconds. It just barely freaking glazes them, and the head explodes. But then I noticed that it just shows you how the other fights mean that they're badasses too.
The whole point, the whole point of at the beginning, especially, is to show how much of a fucking tank Kenny is.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mhm.
because it also is like trying to, and for the later on, it's trying to invoke you how powerful Hokuto Shinken is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So when you see later on in the movie or in the in the series and stuff, when you run into Toki and Rao and all those people, you're like, oh.
Uh,
I don't know if you guys can hear me, but I'm back.
Yep.
Oh, hello.
hey,
Welcome. Now we can
Hello.
hear you.
So welcome,
Good.
Crystal.
This
Thank you. Nice to meet you all.
good to meet you.
yeah, nice to meet
Tell
you.
us about your first exposure to Fist of
And
the
my
North Star.
fiance should be out soon, finishing some stuff. But he does know a lot about the series.
Cool. Tell us about your first exposure to it. What do you know about it? What did you sort of remember of it?
I don't remember exactly how old I was, but I know I was a kid, and I think I watched it on Sci-Fi Channel.
Oh,
That's
wow.
where I watched the first
Yeah.
time.
I think I watched it on the Sci-Fi Channel, and I was a kid, and it was a long time ago. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
it was amazing, and it was one of the first things that, aside from what was that anime called, Vampire Hunter D. It was one of the first anime that actually got me into anime. I
Right.
love Fist of the
Mhm.
Star. Yes, I love it.
Mhm.
And it's
It's
one
like
of the first,
Bruce Lee
first
meets.
anime that
It's
actually got me into loving like the violent type of anime. I don't
Yeah.
know. I was a weird child.
yeah.
And we
It's
were
like
all
it's like
weird.
Bruce
We were all
Lee.
like that.
Yeah, it's Bruce Lee meets Mad Max. You know, it's badass.
Wow, awkward silence.
And that opening scene where Kenshiro is he's caked in nuclear dust and he just walks through the skyscraper. You know what I mean? We saw it earlier on the screen here. Is there a measuring bar for more badass in all of anime? You know, we see people blow up moons and shit, but just is there anything else that's better indicative of an unstoppable force? You know what I mean? Like as he just moves through the world, it's just so crazy.
Dude, yeah, 'cause it was something totally different. When I first heard about my cousins, they had moved to Italy, and my cousin was calling me up. He goes, "You got to see the too." are you talking about? He goes, yeah, everybody, the grown-ups, the adults, whenever this cartoon was on, they would close up the shops, they would go home and watch this thing, and then when it was done, they'd go back into the stores that they were running and stuff, and it was back to business. But everything went on hold every time this cartoon came out. I was like, "Are you serious? You're full of shit." And then I saw it. I'm like, "Oh my god, yeah, I believe it."
Yeah, it's a real visual spectacle. You know what I mean? Where the characters are like, as you saw there, where they're just moments earlier, where they're just passing their fingers with streams of light through people, and they're just coming apart. And the ship stuck through skyscrapers and all of these really shocking apocalyptic visuals. It's really cool.
Totally, man.
Yeah, it's one of those that I'm like, I never watched, and when I watch, I'm like, how come I never watched that before? Can't believe I've never freaking actually watched this.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a big series and it's an old series, but it's one of those things that I think is a must-watch for any serious fan of sort of the genre. I think as a historical piece, the role that it plays in the entire medium is huge. You'll find parodies of and references to this series everywhere from I'm forgetting the actual name of series, but it's everywhere. Like you'll find it from like the stuff with Onizuka in it to like more serious stuff down the road, like JoJo. There's obviously a strong influence there. There's even references to it in Dragon Ball Z. A lot of people don't realize that the famous Atatatata attack that Kenshiro throws that we know from Dragon Ball Z, it started here with Kenshiro nearly a decade earlier,
Mm-hmm.
So
Should I
How
do
many
it?
series is there about?
I know
no,
I think there was two. Like there was two main ones. There was Fist of the North Star, and then the Fist of the North Star quote 2, where it continued the story. And then there was the newer one, like Simon, you were talking about earlier. When we were out there.
Yeah, but there was also one that Liam brought up. It went on Route.
Legend of the Dark King, which I believe it's called. I like. Okay, so a minute. Here we are. The spin-off series Ten Know How, a series that was. Oh wait, are these? Okay, 1 minute. We'll just stick to anime. So the TV series, films and OVAs. So we've got Fist of the North Star was done by Toei. That's another reason it's probably so good. There was a 3-episode OVA original titled New Fist of the North Star.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that's what Sim saw.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the 86 and the New Fist of the North Star. Yeah.
There was a 5-part film series called Legends of the True Savior. That was in 2005. That one's pretty good.
That's interesting.
3 of them were theatrical releases. It's kind of cool. And then Legend of Rao, like I said, that was a 2006. But I mean, there's a lot of stuff. But at the end of the day, there's one main series, but it's nearly like I think it's like 50 or more episodes long. It's because it's like old. So it's 109 episodes long.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this is
That's
109. Yeah, I believe only the first 24 were dubbed into English. The rest you have to get through subtitles. And there was recently a release through. Sorry guys, I've forgotten the name of the studio.
It's okay. We thought you froze.
They re-released. Yeah, they re-released it recently, so you can get it all without needing to pay like $600 for it, like you had to previously. So you can get it all, the whole series, for about $100. That's bugging me. I wish I could remember who did that.
I gotta look that up. But
someone else talk while I work some stuff out.
No,
I'm just looking at the trailers that are going across the screen here, and I'm just loving there's several of those, the nani moments, like where heads are getting popped,
Which is fucking good. They also did a video game as well. My brother played it quite recently. He was like,
A video
God,
game.
man, I saw some of it. Yeah, dude, it was just as bloody. Insane crap I was seeing in there.
Maybe
He
about
was
the
taking out.
people who did the Yakuza games.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Sega game. Yeah, and it's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, they looked
Yeah.
awesome to me. I mean, I didn't play it, but I watched them play some of it. I was like, holy shit.
And the company that re-released Fist of the North Star recently was Discotech Media, who are I should have remembered their name because they're like my favorite distributor of like anime and manga. You go and you look at what they're re-releasing and stuff, and it's all the stuff I love, you know. So
Cool.
I should have known that.
I love this scene because you know that scene just a minute ago that Ken was so angry that his bed exploded.
That one here.
Yeah,
I don't mean to interrupt anybody, but can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. It was actually 36 episodes that were dubbed. Beforehand, it was like 8 VHS tapes, and 24 of the episodes were dubbed, and then they went back and redubbed them later on. So it's 36.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, man. That's good information. Now we've got a pro here.
And welcome to the
Everyone
show.
for guessing in
He's
the dark.
totally a pro.
Yeah, shouldn't have messed with the little girl.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this like
And he remembers everything. I don't. I don't know. I see it and I like it at the time, but for some reason the memories of it just deteriorate for me. But Regenesis was very, very recent, so I remember a lot of it.
there's also the fact that usually when we like something, we watch it multiple times until it's engraved in our mind. Like I'm probably gonna watch it like 10 times from now on. Yeah.
Yeah, I probably watched Fist of the North Star about 5 times.
So that scene right there, is that new meaning to the word like eat curb? Because he's well, these guys are dead. He just keeps on walking.
Already
Yeah.
dead.
He just like, fuck you.
He just
No
uses
fucks given,
his little toe. You know, he just uses his little toe to flick a piece of concrete. Just eats it.
And then they just, he just did enough to kill all of them.
Yeah, and that's his first introduction. It's just like
And it's kind of like,
It was a world where men were men, and there were also atomic monster men, and the mattered because there was also Kenshiro. They just undress him as he walks forward, you know.
you just when you get punched so hard, you get imprinted on the big motherfucker.
Like I like it when the violence is so gore and over the top that it's funny.
Yeah. Totally. Man.
How about
Yes.
this? He just did all that shit, right? He just did all that shit, and then he cracks his knuckles.
And just everything comes off.
Like it was just for fun. Like he was just having fun doing it.
Now he hits it so many times.
Okay,
and
is
I love
somebody
it.
gonna do the sound effect? No, nobody. And right on time.
And I always love this.
Omo Shinderu.
Nani. See, right now, this guy's like, he's thinking, I didn't get hurt all that bad. It ain't no big deal.
His head
And his head
dented
just
in.
explodes.
Yeah. He's like, your little fist is nothing compared to my power, and he's about to blow up.
Then his little henchman or whatever is on the side, like, oh, he gonna feel that in the morning.
Yep, there it is. You're already
And
dead.
there's the line. You're already dead.
Nani. Bloop.
The
That-
deformity
that is-
first.
That is what you call a bad day. That is
Yeah.
what you call a bad day.
Totally.
The scene that I love, you'll probably be able to find on YouTube. I don't want to mess up where we are, but does anyone remember where he fought the tank?
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
love
God.
when he fought the tank.
Just punching the thing into submission.
Yeah,
Well, gotta wash the blood off a little bit here.
yeah, he's like Mad Max, Bruce Lee, and Jesus all bound together into a single character.
Jesus.
Yeah, well,
Meaning that he walks
You didn't see
around
the
and
part
people
when he
look at him
gave that
like a
little girl her
messiah.
sight back?
Yeah.
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 And
That
throughout
man
the
was
whole
Jesus.
series, he's going throughout, and there's a whole, and if you go and you watch it, there's a whole bunch of like martyr and stuff like that, metaphor all throughout it.
Mhm.
So, and he's just this kind, gentle-hearted character that's trying to do the right thing. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
he's also like king of the badasses.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, you saw when he beat everyone, he woke up. Jesus coming out of the tomb.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That was the whole thing they were going for. But
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
God,
that's,
he,
I
Yeah.
remember now. She couldn't
Right there,
talk.
it just healed her sight. Yeah.
Was it her sight or was it her voice? I thought Lynn couldn't talk.
It was her
Well,
sight.
they
Oh, okay, maybe. Okay.
Yeah.
yeah. But basically, like, there's a
Oh,
lot
yeah,
more
she-
hidden
ability to
metaphor
speak,
for
yeah.
it later in the
Yeah.
series.
And she's all like, huh? Like, here's some flower seeds.
Yeah.
Take two and
I believe you have the power to grow them. He's giving hope.
take two
Yeah.
and
It's
money and call me
symbolic
later.
of it's symbolic of the fact that, like, he doesn't just restore her with the ability to speak, he also gives her the tools that she needs to improve her life and make beauty in what is an otherwise ugly world. It's very good writing.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
very
missed when
beautiful concept.
I miss when people dressed like Bat. I think his name's Bat, right? That's what we call
Yeah.
him.
Goggles and yeah. There was a scene. If you've ever
So
seen,
80s.
there's this. There was actually a Fist of the North Star
I like
abridged.
that you see the pencil on the back. I'm sorry, guy, but look at this. It's beautiful.
Mhm.
You could see the the pencil background.
Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
Yeah,
extras and all.
I love it.
And that's it. And
Yeah.
people did that, That's why I don't like CG. You can tell how much time and
Yeah.
work went into this, where everything
That
sort of
that was my
CGs.
problem.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
That's the problem I had.
See if
with
we can
Genesis.
find Kenshiro fighting the tank, guys. Put in like Kenshiro tank and see if someone's got it up, because that's like great. Like, it's not even a person that he's fighting.
But yeah, in the Fist of the North Star abridged, it was so funny, that part where he gives her back her voice. They had the dialogue is like her starts going Ken, because that's kind of the joke from the dub, that she always was yelling Ken. So you had him like doing this exaggerated voice like Ken, and he's like girl. He's like Ken. He's like girl. Oh, he's about to fuck up this tank.
Perfect timing, man.
I'll tell you my favorite thing for me as far as Kenshiro and like a lot of the anime back in that time period was the fact that storytelling didn't seem like it was as restricted as it is now.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So like
Well,
you can
definitely.
have like a character who, he either had been a victim of like his family being like completely killed or his wife raped. But now, like, if you see stuff like that now in storytelling, everybody wants to get mad about it. Like, oh, this person shouldn't have did that. Oh, that's sexist. Or like, why did it have to be the female that got raped or something like that?
Yeah, because
Yeah, well, man.
they don't want bad things to happen. Like, it's like bad guys can't do bad things. Like here we go.
Absolutely.
He was letting them know that, okay, I've just killed you.
Yeah.
Your body is no longer under your control.
Help me.
Help me.
Now die inside.
Now die inside your precious tank.
And then it's like a lot of that bad stuff that the hero goes through, it really makes the hero like a better hero.
Yep.
Totally.
For
And
sure.
That was man against machine.
Yeah. I like he's
Yeah.
gonna look at this, like, this motherfucker come at me with
Like when that tank realized it messed with the wrong person.
yeah.
Yeah. I love it. It's solid steel, like they could have gone with the thing where he like punched huge holes in the tank or whatever, but he's just dinning it, like he's just wailing into it. It's really great. And the whole series is fantastic. As for how storytelling's been compromised, yeah, that seems to be the current trend. Like, you saw the rage over Goblin Slayer. Goblin Slayer's tame as shit. It is tame as shit, and everyone acted like it was the biggest thing in the end of the world. These people don't even understand the medium they claim to love. They don't know its history. They've watched so many little girls in high school that they have no fucking clue about the roots of the action genre within manga and anime, you know?
Well,
Like,
I
no
think I
clue.
have a little something to say about that myself. I think it's a lot to do with people being offended about everything.